Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Canessa coming to you from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com on this, the 19th day of July in the year 2021. Sure glad you decided to join us on this very warm day in the Northeast. Hope you're all enjoying your Monday, no matter where it is you are in the country. And as you do each and every week, you welcome me into your homes so that I might bring you this week's news. And as you can see from the left side of your screen, the headline reads Searing Sunday. And unfortunately, yesterday was not a good day in Kearney. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to play some what we call in the business be real footage. So this comes from the scene of a fire yesterday in Kearney. This was at 350 Elm Street, 350 Elm Street yesterday. And this was a tough one because it also hit 348 Elm and it also hit 352 Elm Street. And it started around 9 o'clock in the morning yesterday. And this video was taken at about 9:45 when firefighters were really attacking the fire, and you could see the thick black smoke and some of the gray smoke that's coming out of the roof. I guess the fire department calls that the cock loft. It just sounds like a dirty name even though it isn't, but they're working very hard here, as you can see. And it's pretty interesting because I believe, although it's not confirmed, that the fire started at 350 Elm. It was really a wet morning from the night before with all the rains, that it was just odd to me that this fire jumped twice to two different buildings, but it did nonetheless. And the fire department wasn't able to consider this fire under control until about 12:15. And I didn't get to stop by to the scene until a little bit after 1 p.m. and Kearney was still there, obviously. Harrison, Jersey City. There was also mutual aid from Bayonne and Belleville and Newark, East Newark. And it was a really, really difficult day for the firefighters. But unfortunately, two members of the fire service were injured. One was a Kearney firefighter, another was a Jersey City firefighter. I'm happy to be able to say, thanks to Chief Joe Mastandria, who let us know that the Kearney firefighter was treated and released from a local hospital, though they're not sure what happened to the Jersey City firefighter just yet. And a woman who lives in one of the homes was seriously burned and taken to the burn unit at St. Barnabas Medical Center in Livingston. And we don't know what her current condition is, and we will let you know if we do find out any details about that situation. But it was a real rough day for the firefighters, who did a tremendous job from keeping it from spreading even further. I guess the conditions were right for it. It was kind of windy in the morning, and but then it got hot too. It was like 85 degrees. And when I was there, the Gong Club was there also. So they do a tremendous job. If you've never heard of the Gong Club, they support fire departments when there are major fires. And they come and bring beverages. And they had a cooling station, a high-speed fan that blew like kind of condensed cold water and air onto the firefighters so that they needed to get some relief. So that was the story there. 3 pets died in the fire. I didn't have the heart to ask Chief Mastandria if there were cats, dogs, or any other animals, because anytime you lose a pet in a fire like this, it's tragic. So I just didn't have it in me to ask him what kind of animals they were, but 3 pets did succumb to the fire. And one of the families that lives in one of the homes, it's 2 young kids, a boy age 9 and a young girl age 3. The father in the family is a volunteer coach for Thistle Soccer, and a GoFundMe has been started by the Thistle Soccer program, so it's a legitimate request for donations. And when you read the story in this week's edition of The Observer, you will certainly see that. and be able to get a sense of what's going there if you so desire to make a donation to the family. I believe they've raised close to $12,000 already, which is just remarkable. And I'm sure they're going to have a lot of needs. It's just so sad. So that's the story with the fire, and we have all the details in this week's edition on page number 1. Now, as we continue along, this week's front page also has a story about Bob Knapp. Now, I don't know how many of you knew Bobby, but Bob was the municipal clerk in East Newark from 2003 on, but he was also the welfare director, and he was the treasurer of school monies for the school district. Bob retired from that position, so after 30 years of complete service to the borough of East Newark, Bob Knapp has fully retired from his service to East Newark, to the borough. I've known Bob for a long time, going back to 2006 or so, and he's always been one of the most dedicated civil servants I've ever known. You know, he's been involved with the county in different places in the county over the years, and he's done a tremendous job no matter where he is, whether it's as the county's welfare director. I think he might be director of human services now. They have a different name, but Bobby's always been a tireless worker. And while he was in East Newark, he was one of the people who did numerous jobs for little money. It was always part-time. He never got any special extra treatment or a special extra money. His salary that he started with when he was director of welfare was the same amount he got when he became the clerk, and doing vital statistics and all this stuff. So he's going to continue as the county director of human services, but he will no longer be in East Newark. And all of us here at the Observer wish Bob Knapp a wonderful time in retirement, but I don't think he's going to retire anytime soon from the county. He says he likes it too much, and he's not ready to give it up. 74 years old, so he's certainly within his rights to retire. He's within the age group where he could retire, but he's not ready to do it. And who can blame anybody for that? When you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. And that's something that Bob Knapp can say. So we're going to miss him around here, and we wish him nothing but the very best in the future as he continues to work for the county, but no longer here in East Newark. As we move on to the inside of this week's edition of the Observer, this was something that I mentioned last week. I did a special broadcast for it, but Kyle Ostansky, who is a member of the 2020 class at Kearney High School, is now private first class. Kyle Ostansky of the United States Marines. That is because he graduated on Friday last week from the United States Marine Corps boot camp in Parris Island, South Carolina. A tremendous accomplishment. He finished in the top of his class. Only one other recruit had higher rating than he did in the entire United States of America. An incredible feat. And I believe he came in second by millipoints, like minuscule, almost where it should have been tied. Ex aequo, as my mother reminded me, is the terminology that we used in high school together. But great job by Kyle, and we thank his mom, Heather Ostansky from the Greeks, for sharing this story with us. She didn't expect probably that it would be in the paper and get a live video, but it did. And we're all proud of Kyle. And Kyle, if you happen to see this, we're all proud of you and your mom. We move on to a few more things. The West Hudson Arts and Theater Company will be doing a Disney sing-along coming up in a couple of weeks, so check that out on page number 3. Belleville recently renamed a street for former Councilman Angelo Rizzoli, so we have a feature on that. Did you know that Hudson County has reached the 70% plateau mark for COVID vaccinations, the first major urban county in the state of New Jersey to do so. So please check that out. We have a great letter this week from Paul LeClaire, who occasionally writes letters, and this one was in response to Addie Boyd, my dear friend, who wrote a letter a couple of weeks ago about showing ID for voting purposes. And this week's editorial is one that was a little tough to write for me, but one that I thought was necessary, and I was happy that Lisa enjoyed it. And that is, we are encouraging the township of Nutley to cancel their fireworks that were scheduled for 4th of July and move to the 10th of September. You may recall we talked about this last week, a terrible date to have fireworks one day before the 20th anniversary of the worst terrorist attack in the history of this country. I want to say one other thing too. We also have honor rolls from Schuyler School this week, and Tracy Solinsky sent it to me. We had all sorts of issues getting it right because there were a couple of things that got garbled, so I'm very happy we were able to get that honor roll into the paper this week. And congratulations to all of the 4th, 5th, and 6th graders at Schuyler School who did a tremendous job academically and got themselves on the honor roll, the principal's honors, and or citizenship. Though I have to admit, I don't know what that actually entails, citizenship. I don't know if anybody else out there does, and if you do, maybe you can put it in the chat room. I guess it's kids who maybe show up and don't come in late and behave well, don't get detention or something like that, and who know their civics. I don't know. Somebody help us out. Put it in the chat room if you know what citizenship entails in the Kearney school system. Jim Hague has 2 stories about Little League, one in Nutley, one in Kearney. One team won a championship, so check that out. And sports, as we do every week, we have 3 pages of classifieds. If you need an apartment, if you need a job, whatever it is, check it out. You're probably going to find something. 3 pages. Check it out. Don't delay. 3 pages. 3 pages in this week's edition of the Observer. And that's just about it. I hope you liked the little scroll on the bottom of the screen. You may have seen a couple of things going by, including us kind of tooting our own horn that if you need some type of work done, whether it's business cards, banners, flyers, all this, we're not just a newspaper. We have a secondary business here where we do all sorts of marketing types of things. So check that out as well, especially if you need something done quick. We can get it done. We can get it done well. We can get it done cheap. We'll do the design work for you too. So check us out, West Hudson Publishing. Not just a newspaper. Sound like a pitch man, don't I? All right, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Observer Live. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me. Went a little bit over this week, but we'll be back in a week. If, of course, anything happens during the course of the week, we'll join you live. But until then, 1 week from today, we will be back right here, same place, same time. From the newsroom of the Observer and theobserver.com, Kevin Canessa signing off for now, and we hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Good night, everybody. Take care.